Hi there, I'm Roger Lee from ArtframeR in Kelowna, and I want to introduce you to Lynda Norman. Lynda is a watercolorist living in Kelowna and sharing her wares, her beautiful artwork in different places in the world, ever expanding. And she's going to tell you all about how she does it, what she does, and where it all comes from. So tell me, Lynda, how did your journey begin as an artist?
As an artist.
And then as a painter, more specifically.
As a painter,
yeah.
okay. Yeah, because I think, as we said earlier, alluded to the creativity, when do you call yourself an artist? I think we're all artists.
Yes.
But when I felt like I could call myself an artist,
Yeah.
or that other people started referring to me as an artist, probably about 12 years ago.
Yeah.
In November of 2012, I started to gather some like-minded people around, and we formed an organization called Artists for Creative Alliance.
Oh, good, yes.
And that eventually became Kelowna Arts
Kelowna
Council.
Arts Council.
That's right.
Yes.
And it's a nonprofit society geared towards providing resources and support for the grassroots population of our community specifically. So we started that, most of the people in the group were musicians.
Yeah.
And it was a beautiful thing, and we wanted to build more awareness in the community and a more appreciation for live music.
Yes.
And I think if you look today at all of the organizations that are supporting live music in our community, I think that's been a huge change since 2012,
Yeah.
and I love to see that. But one of the things that we've always had to sort of work around is learning how to be fluid in the community. Mm-hmm. We've never had bricks and mortar. We're all volunteers. There's no support financially, for the most part, for the bricks and mortar. So early on in the organization's history, I started to put a call out for people in the community. Didn't matter who you were or are, or who you thought of, of yourself as an artist, or how you thought of yourself as an artist, just to meet up and share energy, share what you're doing.
Yeah.
So the first time I put that call out just on social media, and invited anybody who wanted to meet me out at Bertram Creek Park.
Good.
And I think
Nice.
it was probably a May or June kind of day.
Yeah.
It was quite lovely. And in hindsight, I was thinking on the drive out there, oh my gosh, this is a long way out. Nobody's going to be able to make it.
Down the edge of the lake. Yeah.
But we had about 35 people show up.
Really?
People
Marvelous.
brought trail mix, they brought cameras, they brought guitars, they brought
wow.
just all kinds of things to share.
Yeah.
And we sat around and laughed and talked and nibbled on trail mix, and someone came along and showed us some Tai Chi, some Qigong, beautiful movements to just sort of get everybody.
You had a little eruption.
It was
blue
quite
there.
beautiful. And one of the ladies that showed up, Jennifer Lario, beautiful artist, came with a big tote full of watercolor supplies. And a lot of people know this story about me because I love to share it.
Yeah.
And she insisted that everybody sitting around, we were in the big pagoda
Just dig
area.
in.
Everybody had to have materials in their hand to create something with watercolor.
Okay.
And I had never really attempted watercolor. I was told all my life that it was too hard.
Right.
And so, I was raising kids, and I thought, well, if it's too hard, I'll just take the path of least resistance and avoid it. But here I was with some paper and some paint and some brushes, and in this beautiful setting with all this amazing creative energy just pulsing around us.
Yeah.
And so I painted some trees and some water, things that I saw, and it was by all means, or by no means,
alive.
It was,
you were alive.
Yeah, it wasn't a stunning portrait or picture of any
great magnitude.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
but as I was painting,
it was an opening up.
I just felt this beautiful relationship between the pigment and the water and the paper, and how as I said before, I basically a witness to watch
Right.
and guide and see what was emerging and work from that. So I went home and dug out some of my kids'
Oh, good.
old art supplies. I mean, they were adults for a while by this point, so they
Yeah.
were old supplies. But I dug them out and I started. I had no formal training. There was nobody there to tell me that's not right.
Yeah.
Oh, you shouldn't be doing this,
Yeah.
or why don't you try this? So it was a little room in my basement with one tiny window that was kind of dark, but it was my space, and I could just
And you had opened that door, so now you were going to walk
and I could just
through that
imagine,
room.
you know,
Yeah.
what could happen next? What if I did this? What if I did that? And that's kind of evolved. Now I have a little bit of a bigger space and more light.
Yeah, and you have some tried and true techniques now, and
And
an
I have-
ever expanding curiosity about how to apply.
Exactly. So I
paint.
found some things that work for me. I found, pardon me, the type of paints that I love,
Yeah.
and the surface that I like to paint on. Surfaces, because
Yeah,
there's a
'cause
few.
they're all dynamic.
And the brushes that I have, and so I've gathered this beautiful little assembly of materials and tools around me, and so it's just a joy to. I wake up in the mornings thinking, oh, I can hardly wait to get down into my studio and start.
Do you ever dream? I'm just suddenly wondering. Do you dream of painting and you wake up and think, "Oh, I gotta get that down"?
I do.
Like with songwriting, occasionally with.
I do
in my past.
absolutely, yeah.
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 That's something.
Yeah.
You dream in color.
You know,
never
I don't
quite
think I
know
do. My
sometimes.
husband does. He has
Oh,
fantastic
all right.
dreams. Mine are not so much about the color. Isn't that interesting for a visual artist? Never
Yeah.
thought about that.
I think it's arguable whether people.
Maybe there's a
actually-
switch somewhere
Yeah.
I can turn.
Yeah. And so, what are you working on right now?
Right now, today I'm going to pick up
Oh, you're right here talking to me.
I am.
should have known.
I am. This is
Other than that.
this is the perfect way to start a day. I can't
Good.
think of a better way than to spend some time with you and sip some tea and
yes.
talk about all of our creative stuff. It's
So you got a project on the go?
I do. You know, it's I tell people always that every day is Linda's big adventure. I know when I wake up in the morning,
nice.
there's going to be some adventure. No matter how that looks to any other people, I find adventure in it, and
You have a good attitude.
yeah. So yesterday before, I got a call from an amazing musician in town who is setting up a jazz and art series,
Beautiful.
and we're looking at putting that together at
Well,
at
your
one-
painting
at a
style
winery.
is a little bit jazz. I
Well-
would say leans more towards jazz, improvisational,
Well, yeah, it's
reaching past the boundaries. Yeah.
so I'm
That's
going
good.
today to pick up a large canvas, 2 feet by 4 feet. That's as big as I can handle.
Right.
My arms are only so long.
What have we got
And-
here? I have a 2 foot by 4 foot kind of. You
Do
have
you?
this one.
Okay, all right, Matron.
I have things for sale, like art stuff, in my studio.
Perfect. I'll go home with that. So I'm going to get that and start playing around with all that jazz.
Maybe put on some jazz. Thank you for staying with us for this marvelous encounter with Lynda Norman. If you want to know more, you can subscribe to this channel and, of course, check out my website, artframer.net.